Corey Taylor, welcome to BBC Radio 6 Music.
Thank you for having me.
Do you know, I was thinking to myself, you and I have had so many conversations across the years, all the way back to 1999.
Mm-hmm.
So I wondered today if you might like to do something different with me.
Ooh. All right, I'm listening.
So my proposition to you is that we play a little game together. And the idea is that we open new avenues of conversation, potentially, because we're coming at it from a completely different angle.
All right.
So what I'm going to give you is two options, right?
Okay. All right.
You can choose either option, or you can choose both.
Okay.
Or you can completely defy me and go a totally different way.
Oh, you know, I have a hard time defying you. So, I mean, I'm at your disposal. Let's go with what you would like to do.
Okay, let's try it. Let's try it. I thought we would have some fun today.
All right, I'm into it.
Okay. So it's called Red or Black, the game.
Oh, okay.
Red or Black. Okay, so here we go. Death metal or ambient music?
Ooh. Gun to head, I'd probably go death metal. Death metal powers me through a workout. It helps me kind of sort out any kind of like aggressive thoughts that I've got going on, and it kind of reminds me of when I could run at a clip and my knees didn't hurt as much. Yeah?
A Rothko painting or a comic book?
Well, I mean, you know, the trailer park kid in me is obviously going to lean more towards a comic book just because I've been collecting them since I was, 6 years old. To me, a comic book is such a representation of so many different corners of life that I would 100% have to go with that. Okay.
Vanilla or salted caramel?
See, now you're getting into dangerous territory. You know, there are arguments for both. Obviously, vanilla is a beautiful companion to pretty much anything. You know, you can pair it with cake or pie. You can pair it with any type of syrup. You can add pretty much any deep fried dessert to it, and it is going to be absolutely wonderful. You can fry it itself, and it's good, you know. But at the same time, salted caramel, you can eat that just by itself, for God's sakes, you know. I mean, it's wonderful as a sauce. It's a wonderful flavor of ice cream. And this is coming from a real sugar guy. I don't think you've noticed just how deep into it I'm thinking, but that's because I love me some sugar. I could find sugar in a sandbox, as my grandma used to say. I would have to pick both.
Speaking of your grandmother, the next question, I guess, is directly relative to your grandmother.
Okay.
So, Elvis Presley or David Bowie?
Oh, why you got to do this to me?
It's torture.
Oh, Marianne. Oh, man. Okay. We're going to have a second. Because, I mean, why even give me the choice? Because I'm going to take both every time. The thing I love about Elvis was his evolution. The fact that he started from gospel and rock and roll and really rockabilly country and ended up in this weird amalgam of music, you know, like he had really kind of run the gambit at that point, kind of came into his own experimenting with different styles, but he never left those first three. I mean, the gospel was there, the country was there, and the rock and roll was there. It may have elevated to a point, but it was always there.
People, don't you understand? The child needs a help. Do we simply turn our heads and look the other way?
With Bowie, I mean, it was like he just kept kicking doors open. You know, he's like, I've done this. Okay, what's next? Okay, I've done that. Okay, what's next? Okay, I've done this. What's next? And it was like just running through people's yards, you know? And he's just like, I've seen this. I've seen that. I'm going for this.
Still don't know what I was waiting for. But I can't trace time.
God, I adore both of them. Okay, I'm going to say it now. This is the last time I'm going to take both, because I'm going to make myself from now on choose something. However, to me, Elvis and Bowie are kind of like my shoulder angels, you know? Like, between the two, the truth twixt meet.
Fair enough. I know that Elvis is really significant in your life as
very, very, yeah. My grandmother, yeah. She started playing Elvis for me when I was very young. It was so weird because she would play Elvis albums, but then at night we would listen to comedy albums to fall asleep, you know? Like, it was almost like to calm me down, you know, because I would be running around the house listening to Elvis and singing things like, I can't even remember the first song. It might have been Suspicious Minds was the first, like, real thing that I ever heard from him. But it was, I just remember running around, and there was this snare drum that my uncle had when, you know, he lived in the house, and I would just be beating on it. I was a 5-year-old, 4-year-old kid, and, you know, let's give the kid something noisy to beat on, which is probably not a great idea.
Okay, ready for another?
I'm ready.
Wild Card or Elder Statesman?
Oh, man. I feel like I identify more as the elder statesman now. And I'm okay with it, to be honest. You know, I love the fact that after all of these years, I mean, obviously I'm still here, we're still here, and we're still doing it at a level that is astronomical and still baffles me. But I like the fact that bands are looking to us to, not to guide them or anything, but they look to us and they go, well, God, if they did it, why not? You know, like, because we didn't hold anything back, they're going, well, why should I hold anything back? You know? And to me, that's gratifying in itself. You know, it means we got our point across. So I kind of like the fact that as the elder statesman of my genre, I'm helping to promote the next generation and show them that they don't have to limit themselves to get ahead. They can be themselves and they can run for the borders. Obviously, Bookie, you know, Kid Bookie, who's from here. I saw him yesterday, and he was like, "Are we going to go to dinner?" I was like, "Mate, I can't even stay awake right now. I'm so out of my mind." But he's such a great kid, and he's so creative and so artistic and inspiring. And honestly, when he first hit me up to be, you know, to do something with him on strike, I wasn't sure what I was going to hear, man. And when he sent me Stuck in My Ways, I fell in love with it. I was like, this is beautiful. And it just became this amazing thing that he and I could kind of go back and forth on, you know.
I've been stuck in my ways, feeling like I'm gonna explode. I'm the big dog around here, I just wanna be away. 666 misfits.
Meditation or primal screaming?
Primal screaming, really. Yeah, I mean, and I've tried meditation, man. And it's something my wife tries to get me to do because she's so much more collected than I am. And the wonderful thing about my wife is that she's always bringing such positive things to me. And yet the war in my head has a hard time with all of them. So I've tried sitting and meditating and trying to find that center, and really tried to find that safe hum that comes with, you know, the Om, and I just can't do it. And I don't know if it's just because I'm especially screwed, but I know that the scream therapy 100% works, because once I've recorded a song, or once I've played a song, or I've performed it, or I've gone through the motions, or I've written something, or I've worked out and I've listened to it, I know that sense of calmness is something that I only get after those moments, you know? So it's because I have to explode and then come back and then explode and then come back. Now, it may not mean that I'm calm. It may mean that I'm just exhausted, you know? However, until the day where that bubble is burst, I will maintain that I get a sense of peace from creating war.
Slipknot or Solo?
Ooh, interesting. I'm going to say Solo only because I'm starting it right now. Like I'm really, and I'm really starting to kind of find myself in it, you know? Because I mean, it really essentially started as an experiment, you know? I mean, I had all these songs that I wanted to share with people, and I really couldn't give them to either band. So it was like, okay, well, we're just going to have to create a third option, you know? Slipknot is something that can never be replaced in my heart, can never be replaced in my life. And I sincerely hope that I'm a part of it until I hang the mask up, you know? But the Solo thing, there's so much that I can play with, and I'm afforded, you know, the freedom and the luxury to be able to create song-wise, that it's exciting to me every time I think about it. And maybe that's just because I've spent 27 years now in Slipknot, that I am so excited about this, you know, shiny new toy or whatever. But I've explored so much in Slipknot. And it excites me to think about what's next for Slipknot. But when it comes to this, it can be even more personal than I've allowed myself to be with Slipknot. And it could be just because of my age as well, you know? I mean, I've gotten to the point where I've tried almost everything, and yet here I am, you know, 25 years ostensibly after my first real release, and I'm still trying to break new ground musically. And do it in a way that doesn't feel forced, do it in a way where the song is still king, and really try to put my heart into it, you know? And I think my solo career is going to be responsible for that. And I think that's going to inspire me to open up even more in Slipknot down the road. As I get older, I'm less likely to hold things back and more likely to try, and not just to kind of overpower people with it, but to share it, which is completely different, you know?
Come out of nowhere.
I have to say we are so thrilled that you're coming back as well in this solo capacity, because it does, I don't know, maybe this is just something that I feel, but it does feel like the motherland for you particularly.
I
as
love
an
this
artist,
country.
the UK.
Yeah. I've always had a special connection here, though, you know, like, and I've tried to figure it out, and I don't know what it is, but I've always felt connected here, even before I came here, you know? I mean, I love the literature, I love the music, I love the comedy, obviously, you know? I was obsessed with, you know, watching British television, and which was cool because it was on in Iowa, you know, on PBS, for God's sake. So I got to see it, you know, so I was seeing it along with everybody else. And, you know, just immersing myself in it meant coming over here and immediately feeling like, you know, seeing it all and going, oh my God, this was written here, this was shot here, this was recorded here, this, I mean, just, and being that guy, you know. And I think the fans have felt that over the years. They see how much I appreciate this place, how much I love it, how much I respect them. And let's not beleaguer the fact that, you know, this was probably the first country that really understood Slipknot. And they took us and they put us up where they wanted us, not necessarily us, but they wanted us, man. And that was like a domino effect across the world, you know? I mean, even reverberating back to our home country, you know? I've never forgotten that. And I've always tried to get back here as fast as possible. And not just for festivals, not just for one-offs, but to come back and do a proper, long, extrapolated, you know, tour, because I love seeing this country. I love traveling through it. I love talking to the people. I still have so many friends here from the years that I've been coming here that I look forward to seeing them as much as I look forward to playing these shows. So I don't know how it came to be, but I hope I never figure it out.
Corey Taylor, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And welcome home.
Thank you.